Did you ever know a turkey could hiss? Now you do. Hey everybody, Corn-Fed Lady here, and today I'm going to give you an updated tour of our 2-acre homestead because we've been here for just over 5 years now. So come on, let's see what we got going on. So the first thing I want to show you on our homestead is the rabbitry center, and this is where we keep our breeder rabbits, and we breed them so that the babies can be raised for meat. Now this one down here is just a pet, and his name's Nibs, or Mr. Nibbles. And this is our new male breeder, Coco, and he's going to be breeding in the next couple of days with our older girls, Beebs and Midnight. And then on the other side of the bunny shed here, we've got another breeding trio. So there's another boy over here, Chunky Bunny, and he's going to be breeding with his 2 girls, Pinky and the Brains. Where's Pinky? There's Pinky and the Brains. And then we do have another new female breeder hanging out back here, PJ. Hey, Peach. And PJ has not yet bred, so this time is going to be her first try, and she'll be breeding with the first boy I showed you, Coco. So pretty soon we're going to have all these bunnies breeding. So they'll be having babies in about a month from now, and we'll move them out into these type of lawn tractors, and they'll be moving across the lawn, growing out. And this way, we'll still give them rabbit food, of course, but they will eat some of the grass as part of their diet, so we can save some on rabbit feed because they won't eat as much when they're sitting on the grass because they prefer to eat the fresh grass. So that's how our bunnies work. Now next to the bunnies, you may have noticed this big pile of wood rounds. We still have yet to split these for winter. We do heat our house primarily with wood through the winter, so we'll probably be making a video in the next couple months about chopping up the rest of those rounds. And then once we get all that firewood chopped up, it gets stacked back here in our little firewood pile. So you can see we've already got some in here that's been split, and some of these are just kind of small rounds that don't need split. So this wood is already all ready to burn, and this bin is pretty full, but we do want to pack it all the way tight to the top. Both of those bins and this empty bay all need to be filled pretty full, packed tight all the way full for us to have enough wood through the winter. So we're going to be finishing splitting those large rounds and putting them in here and finishing topping the rest of this off. And we do have some more little rounds up top that just need cut down to a shorter length so they fit in the wood stove. So we've got plenty of firewood going for this year. Everything that we've picked up we found free on the Facebook Marketplace. So don't be afraid to look where you live for free firewood. You may have to cut it up and haul it home, but it's free to heat our house with all winter. Okay, and over here by our firewood pile, we have our pig winter pens. Now, of course, it's not winter yet, so they're not in here right now. And this is just a broken off branch from our peach tree up front there. It's putting on quite a lot of peaches, and it's having trouble holding them all. We've had like 3 branches break off. I've tried thinning them. You know, we've considered propping the branches up. It's just kind of a mess this year. So back here is our pig winter pens. And like I said, we'll be moving them in here in the next few months as it cools off. And they'll actually be breeding in here over the winter so that we can get our piglets next spring. Hey, Gabs. Did you eat your breakfast? Hi. And for those of you that don't know, this is Gabby Kitty. She's our farm cat. She does a good job catching critters and chasing off predators and being a good friend and helper in general. Aren't you, Gabs? Now, like I said, those pigs are getting ready to move to their winter pens for breeding in a few months. But for now, they're out here in their summer pens. Hi! So these are our breeder pigs. These two are the girls, and this is Laverne and Shirley. And Laverne is a little bit older than Shirley, that's why she's a little bit bigger. Careful, don't touch the netting, it's electric. It'll zappy zappy. And we've used this electric netting to give them an extension off of their main pens back there, because they've kind of eaten most of the grass back in there. So what we've done is just tapped into their electric fence here and extended it with this netting so they get fresh green grass. And every time we mow, we pull these fences up, we shoo the pigs back into their main pens, pull up these extension fences and mow, and then we'll put them back down, kind of move them over a little bit in a new spot. So they were over there, and then they were over here. They're gonna be over here next. Okay, so let's go see the boys. Let's get girls. And we've got our two breeder boys out here. None of these pigs have bred yet because they're not quite old enough, but they will be this winter, so they'll all be breeding for the first time this winter. And this one is Wilbur, and that one is Wayne. So those are our boys that are gonna be breeding. Hey, baby. I don't have no treats right now, sweetie. And again, they have the same setup here. They've got their main pen in the back there with their shelter, food and water and all that. And then they've got an extension coming out here into the yard so that they can have access to more fresh grass. And again, we move these little pens every time we mow. So next time we mow, the boys will be moved over here a little bit. The girls will be moved over there a little bit. And that'll keep them on fresh grass. You can see where somebody was already here once on rotation. They kind of rooted it up a little bit. So this way we keep them off of their poop and on the fresh grass. That's good pigs. And this breed that we've chosen for our small homestead is called Cooney Cooney. And they don't get very big. They're already pretty much full grown at about 100, 200 pounds. They can get up to 300, especially the boys. But right now, the boys are around 100, 150. I'd say Laverne is over 100, but Shirley's probably only like 80 pounds, maybe 90. So when these pigs get a little bit bigger, probably about January, February, maybe March, we're gonna be breeding them. And of course, their babies will be a meat herd. That's where we get our pork. All of our meat is homegrown. We haven't bought meat in 4 years because we grow it all on our own homestead. And I also wanted to show you our chickens. Oh my goodness, look at them. I just fed everybody breakfast because the sun came up about an hour ago. And looks like they're done eating breakfast now. And they're having a little preening party. Are girls having a little preening party at the picnic table? Are you getting all prettied up for the day? That's nice. So these are our egg layers. They are not meat birds. We do not generally keep meat birds. Now that being said, if we do want meat birds, we do have a rooster on the property that we can put in with them to get fertile eggs to raise meat birds. Now that rooster moo is not in here with these girls all the time. We only bring him in under supervision just to make sure he's not too rough with some of the older gals in here, because we actually have 3 generations of chickens all integrated together in here, and they're 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5 years old. So we don't really want the rooster, you know, taking advantage of them older gals. So we keep him separate, but we do let him come and visit regularly. So again, these are just egg layer hens. And they do have this enclosed tunnel. We had to put netting over the top because we kept getting hawk attacks. So we've got the whole thing enclosed so that they can't get attacked from the air or from the ground. And then back here is our turkey coop. Now the turkeys are generally trying to lay an egg this time of day in the tall grass, so we might have to go on a little adventure to find them. There's one. Now again, these turkeys are some hens that we keep for eggs. And we do have a boy or a tom turkey, so if we want to raise meat turkeys, we can. But these are not meat birds. These are the egg layers. That one's Cappy, which means twins, is probably already in her patch of tall grass for the morning. Excuse me. She likes laying in here. And if you try to tell her otherwise, she'll just hiss at you and try to bite you. So let's take a peek, see what she's doing. Did you ever know a turkey could hiss? Now you do. So she likes hiding in there, throwing a little hissy fit. Again, we've got everything here netted over and enclosed, so the turkeys have a protected run to play in, safe from the hawks that always come up from the creek down there. And just on the side of this turkey run, we've planted about 200 feet of sunflowers, and they're all opening up now, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty spectacular when you walk by 200 feet of sunflowers. So let's go around the other side and take a look. All right, so out here by this wall of sunflowers, we also have our fruit tree orchard. So in here we've got an apricot tree, we've got an apple tree with one single apple on it. This is the first apple and the only apple so far that this tree has ever produced. So it's still a young fruit tree orchard here, but it is starting to produce fruit. We've got this one lonely apple, and these two peach trees back here, I actually did get about 30 peaches off of those two peach trees. They're all in the freezer now, but that's not bad for their first time. Of course, we do have another peach tree out front that I'll have to show you here in a minute, and it is completely loaded. Here's that wall of sunflowers I was telling you about. It's absolutely gorgeous walking by this. Let me give you a little quick walk down. And we've got all kinds of pollinators in here, from bees to butterflies. I even saw a hummingbird out here working the sunflowers the other day when I was doing some stuff. So here's some more bees. No, they're not honeybees. They're, I'm not sure, bumblebees? So you can see this wall of flowers is just, it's so much fun. It goes all the way down to the neighbor's bean field there at the end. So about 200-foot wall of sunflowers, which is kind of cool. Now I will be harvesting the seeds from these to use as treats for our animals, because they all like sunflower seeds. So pretty soon I'll be doing some sunflower seed harvesting to no end. Now our veggie garden is pretty much finished up. So if you've been following along, you've seen me taking all kinds of stuff out of here and preserving. Basically what we have left is some watermelons. Let's see. I've been watching those grow, and I've got them marked with the flag so I can find them easily each time. So when I find a watermelon, I mark it, and that way it'll be easier to find the next time. So that's a nice little trick too. If you're growing watermelons or pumpkins or something like that, and you want to keep track of where they are, I just get these little flag markers from the store. I think I got a pack of like 100 of them for like $5, and I've been using them for a couple years. That's why they're kind of faded now. But it's a great way of marking your melons. Now I'm not getting you a watermelon right now. You guys are so greedy and spoiled. They've been getting watermelons like every other day. The only other things in here really that are still growing is our super spicy hot peppers, which are like the cayenne, ghost, scorpion, Carolina Reaper, stuff like that. And then our bell peppers are still going. They don't have any heat. They're just good for dinner. We've still got some Romas that I'm making sauce out of. Still got a few cherry tomatoes and some Rutger tomatoes, which I've been feeding the animals as treats mostly. Our peanuts are actually doing really well. This is all peanut growth. And I can assure you that because I already weeded this out yesterday, you know, over to here. So this is all peanuts. And we've never grown peanuts before, so this is kind of exciting. And hopefully we'll be able to harvest some and show that to you guys soon. Now we do still have a little bit of parsley in here. I've already harvested about as much as I want, which is kind of like bags and bags of it. So I'm probably just gonna leave this be and let the wild yard rabbits eat it or whatnot. The rest of this is all getting torn out. The snap peas are all dead and gone. The rows of beans I've already saved seeds from for next year. The greens have been done for a while, so they're coming out. And I do still have this one row of pinto beans that I've been working on. So some of these are trying to dry out. I just picked a bunch last night, so I already got all the dry ones. But they go from basically from green to yellow to brown, which I'm not seeing a brown one right now. Like I said, I just picked them all last night. That one's starting to brown a little bit. But when they get, oh, here's one. When they get brown and crunchy, like this, I bring them in the house and take them out of the shell. Now you can see this one's already had everything eaten out of the shell because the bugs are getting a little greedy this time of year. So I'm gonna have to keep on these to get as many pinto beans in the house as I can before the bugs eat them. And I've just been drying these in the sun on the table and then putting them in jars for storage. There's a little tiny bit of carrots left. Those will get pulled and put in the fridge. Potato bed's done. Probably saw the potato harvest. If not, there's a video of that. And it's kind of cool because it's the no-till, no-dig garden. So you just harvest it and plant it with your bare hands. No tools. Alright, so that's about it for our veg garden. Like I said, it's almost done. We just got a couple few things. The tomatoes, peppers, watermelon, pinto beans, some carrots and peanuts. But it's pretty much all done. Now I did mention that we have a peach tree up front that's producing quite a few peaches right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And then I'll show you the berry or the berry garden. Okay, so here's our peach tree up front. And like I said, it is loaded. It's trying to lay on the roof. Branches have been breaking off. We've got some broken off branches down there by the wood pile I showed you earlier. And I've got this harvesting basket. It's just like a little basket on a hook. It's got some little claws or fingers on the end there, so you can just kind of pop the fruit off. It falls down in the little soft sponge in the basket. And that makes it possible for me to be able to reach all these peaches way up overhead. And this tree is packed. Now the peaches I've been slicing up and keeping in the freezer until I can figure out what else I want to do with them. So I'll probably be making some peach cobbler or something like that over the winter. If I do, I'll make a video about it, let you guys see. Now back here is our berry, which is our berry area or a berry garden. Everything in here is berry producers, obviously. We've got some raspberries up here. And they are getting kind of going on their second round of berries. So the raspberries will produce a lot in June and July, and then they just kind of stop. And then in August, if you don't trim them back or prune them back too much, in August they'll start to produce a second crop. Now the second wave of berries is never as much as the first. So we get the majority of our berries in June and July. But every once in a while, we will get a second wave of berries. Not every year, because some years I'm busy pruning them back, so I don't get any. But this year, I've kind of let them go. And so we're actually getting a little bit of a second wave here. We'll go ahead and give these to the rooster here in a second so you can see him. And then on towards the back of this garden here, we've got some blackberries. I have not seen the blackberries do a second wave. They usually just do one wave in June and July and then they're done. And behind them we have some blueberries. Same thing, they've already done produce their fruit for the year. And the same thing for the currants. Now the currants grow more as a woody plant, so you'll see the leaves are dropping off of these and they're looking kind of dormant. And we do have some grapes back here, but they didn't do very well this year. This one just kind of got took over by weeds. We are butted up against a field here, so it's kind of hard to fight the weeds. And this one here did grow some grapes, but they just never matured. So I'm not sure if it just had too many grapes on it. Maybe we should have thinned them down more, or what's going on. And of course, I got to show you my dad's rhubarb. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and he absolutely loved rhubarb. He had rhubarb on every property he lived at that I know of. And this was the last rhubarb plant that he had at his last property before he passed. So we dug it up, brought it home, put it in the corner of our perennial garden here in honor of my late father. All right, let's go ahead and take these berries to the rooster and to the tom turkey, just so I can show them to you. Get a couple more. It's kind of hard to do one-handed while holding the camera. Usually I'll tuck these into my shirt like an apron. But I'm holding the camera so I can show you guys what's going on. Now, I was talking earlier about splitting the wood for the firewood pile. I know I get sidetracked a lot. This is our log splitter, and like I said, I've got a video about this already, and I'll have to show you when we go to split the rest of that wood. But that's our burn pile stuff back there. All right, Moo, I'm coming. Moo's been crowing for me this whole time because he knows every time I go in the barrier, I come back with some berries for him. Come here, man. And Moo is the rescue rooster. His family had to move to the city and couldn't take him with them. Come here, Moomers. Come here, I got your berries. So we adopted Moo Man, and he's such a sweet rooster. There you go, Moomers. He's a very nice boy. There you go. That's a good boy, man. And let's go ahead and give these ones to the tom turkey. And in case you're new to our channel, I'm going to give you a heads up. This tom turkey loves to hate me, so he may very well try to attack me when I give him these berries. He's kind of a jerk like that. There you go. Aw, you're being nice. That's a good boy. Get you some raspberries. He's a good boy. He just loves to hate me, that's all. Now, he does strut around with my husband when he comes home from work, and that's kind of cute. He's his little buddy, but he just kind of hates me for no reason at all. Well, that about does it for today's video. Thanks for joining me, and if you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps our channel grow and reach more viewers. Thanks. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Did you eat your raspberries?